Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. For far too long, we have been very generous to Pakistan. Multiple wars, countless terrorist attacks, and somehow, in the past, our leadership has been indulgent to this Pakistani cause. A cause I believe was lost since 1947. We all know that since the onset of 2014, things have changed. The way in which we engage, or should I say, not engage with Pakistan at all, is a new phenomenon, one that our nation had not seen before. One of the biggest examples of that old Nehruvian approach was the disaster which is known as the Indus Water Treaty. Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen? 6 rivers in total, 4 of them originating in India. Our water flowing from India to Pakistan. And yet, we got 20% of the water share. While these Pakistanis, they took 80% of our water from these rivers. Due to the genius of Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, who practically gave it away to Field Marshal Muhammad Ayub Khan. You know what they wrote in the preamble of this treaty? Pandit Nehru wrote, this treaty is based on, quote unquote, a spirit of goodwill and friendship. Fact is, as we all know, Nehru was a weak man, and weak people cannot negotiate. Within 5 years of that, we had the 1965 war, and the rest of the history is very well known. But ladies and gentlemen, if Pakistan thought that they would get away with unfair treaties on unfair terms forever, negotiated by weak regimes of yesteryears, then let me break it to the Pakistanis, this will not work anymore. Since the inception of the treaty, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, since the inception, Pakistan has done nothing but viciously weaponize this goodwill gesture against us. First of all, we should have no goodwill to Pakistan. They don't deserve it. And they certainly don't deserve any goodwill gestures, because these Pakistanis have systematically targeted every project of India on Indian rivers, rejected all efforts of a neutral panel investigations to come to consensus, and instead dragged India to the courts of arbitration globally on their whims and fancies about the interpretation of the treaty, which was already heavily tilted in their favor. I mean, think about it. A weak Nehru tried to do them a favor, and they are hitting us back with it. I still remember when Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke after Pulwama that water and terror cannot flow together. The entire lobby wanted to challenge him, saying that Nehru's treaty is airtight with no exit clause. Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen? They wanted us to give them an unfair treaty in perpetuity. Well, today, and that's the big story of the day, viewers. Today, on the 101st day of the 3rd term of the Modi government, the news has finally broken that India has told Pakistan this much and no further. In the strongest of words, India has set the record straight that this one-sided treaty is no longer feasible to maintain. The implication of this notice is very clear. Pakistan should no longer count on the benevolence of our nation, as its terror face lies completely exposed in front of the world. Terror and water will now not flow hand in hand. Either we relook this unfair remnant of our post-colonial legacy that has been nothing but unjust to us, or we close the taps on Pakistan. We close the taps on Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, and claim our rightful share. I come to you with 2 debates tonight. Debate number 1, our very clear decision on the Indus Water Treaty. We have to revise the whole damn thing. And debate number 2 this evening, the cabinet clears one nation, one poll, and we've seen some opposition to it. Will the government be able to put together the numbers for it? Ladies and gentlemen, here are the headlines this Wednesday evening on the Debate Tonight. India has thrown down the gauntlet to Pakistan, issuing a stern notice demanding an immediate review of the Indus Water Treaty, New Delhi has made it clear that there is no compromise on national security. Blood and water cannot flow together, says the government. The message is loud and clear, and Pakistan cannot ignore it any longer.
चर्चा करेंगे और बहुत ही विस्तृत चर्चा करके कंसेंसस डेवलप करेंगे, बिल्डअप करेंगे, देश में इस टर्म में लागू करेंगे, ऐसा माननीय गृह मंत्री जी ने कल आप सबके सामने कहा।
Viewers, it's happening. One nation, one election is inching closer to reality. After the Union Cabinet's massive move to approve the Kovind-led panel report on the One Nation, One Poll, simultaneous elections, which many people thought would be on the back burner, is back on the table instead. It's a game changer and sets the stage for political battles like never before. The Modi government once again delivering on its promises, but the question is, can they see it through?
हम तो उसको नहीं मानते, ये नहीं चलने वाला है डेमोक्रेसी में। ये डेमोक्रेसी को टिकाना है तो जब जब चाहिए तब इलेक्शन करना पड़ेगा।
Oh, here we go again. The tired, broken record of democracy in danger is being dusted off. The same lobby that refuses to acknowledge the new India. The India Alliance, in full opposition mode, claims One Nation, One Poll will hurt the federal structure. Jammu and Kashmir has scripted history, recording a voter turnout of 58.19% after a decade-long electoral break. This is also a record-breaking voter turnout in the first assembly elections since the abrogation of Article 370. The people are speaking loud and they are speaking clearly, defying the naysayers, showing that democracy thrives where terror once ruled. And our first theme of the day, ladies and gentlemen, India has issued a very, very stern warning to Pakistan. We have served a notice and we have called for the immediate review of the Indus Water Treaty with Pakistan. The stand of the Modi government is very clear that blood and water cannot flow together. The fundamental issue here, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what needs to be put in perspective, and I need to explain this to you just a little longer, that the existing treaty was unjust because Pakistan got 80% of the share of the water. We got 20%. Whereas 4 of the 6 rivers originate on our soil. Let's debate.
Amid terror attacks and Pakistan's deceitful acts, India has decided to turn on the heat on Pakistan. India has sent out a clear message to Pakistan now. There is no time for goodwill gestures. India officially called on Pakistan to enter into negotiations for a review of the Indus Water Treaty under Article 12, Subclause 3. This by citing significant changes in circumstances since the treaty was ratified. The notice was issued amid a long-standing dispute concerning the Kishan Ganga and Rattle hydroelectric projects. India has called for a reassessment of the treaty's dispute resolution mechanism, criticizing the simultaneous activation of both processes as inconsistent with the Indus Water Treaty's prescribed 3-step mechanism. Pakistan's insecurity about the Indus Water Treaty is not a hidden fact.
Besides delay in arranging or participating in the meetings of Permanent Indus Commission, India has also been denying the tours of inspection asked by Pakistan to be arranged on prompt basis as given in the treaty. These actions by India represent non-cooperation towards implementation of the treaty, which is against the objectives of the treaty as outlined in its preamble. If we want to get out of this problem, we have to focus on domestic use of water, or the use of water within our own boundaries.
But India's stand is clear that blood and water can't flow together.
So we have a clear upper hand in this, I presume. Pakistanis are complaining, but they can't do much legally and otherwise. They're in a weak position. Anyway, General Bakshi, Professor Madhav Nalapat, Abhijit Chawda, and General Dayal, welcome. From the Pakistani side, Uzma Kardar, Member of Parliament of the PMLN, Yasir Janjua, Ishad Ahmad Khan. Uzma ji, I'd like to start with you. This is such a good thing that we have done, because you can't have a treaty that is unfair carry on forever. And this has gone on for about 64 years. We've been very generous with you, but you've been behaving very badly with us. So, not that we want to teach you a lesson, but we have to reassess this treaty in the modern times. Right? And that's what we are doing as per the provisions of the treaty, because the treaty says that from time to time we can modify this treaty. You people thought that this is a permanent treaty. No treaty is permanent. Every treaty has an exit clause. Every treaty has clauses, legal clauses, right? And we want to modify it. So you will have to cooperate with us now on every front, or we can live without a treaty. There's no compulsion on our side. You are the ones who are the beneficiaries of our generosity. Therefore, you don't have any negotiating position on this. You can only perhaps beg, but how we respond to that as well is our choice. So, Ms. Kardar, how will Pakistan respond to this formal notice that we've sent you?
Well, Arnab, for starters, I like this little finger of yours that keeps going up all the time, and this wish of India to become the bully of South Asia. I don't know, you've had it for God knows 70 plus years. It still hasn't materialized. I don't know when you guys will understand that you cannot bully a sovereign state. Pakistan is a sovereign state, and Pakistan is a nuclear power, and it has a fantastic standing army, and we are, totally independent of any coercive tactics coming from any of our borders. So I don't know when you will understand and when you will come to terms with this reality that you cannot threaten, you cannot bully,
we're not threatening.
You cannot point fingers.
We're not threatening you.
You cannot turn taps.
Uzma ji, you understand me completely wrong. We're not threatening you. We are very clear. We don't like this treaty.
Control over any tap that goes to Pakistan. You have no control over any tap. So forget about this dream of controlling and shutting taps and closing taps. This will never happen because these taps are not under your control anyway. Now you're talking about the Indus Water Treaty. This treaty, of course, was there. It was ratified by India and Pakistan, and it was a permanent Indus Commission. You people are going back on your word. You people are breaking the treaty. You people are now, you have your ambitious designs of taking over everything. So you want to shut the taps and you want to, hijack all the water from Pakistan. Already, you guys have made so many dams on these rivers. And when we get the water, we hardly get a trickle down from the rivers. Because
but you don't need much. You're a poor country. You don't need much. We are a larger country where requirements are more. You're a poor country, and your requirements are less. You're not an industrialized nation.
Thank you very much. We might be poor in your mind, but I think you should try and grapple with the reality the way it is, and not think that you can swallow Pakistan as and when you feel like it.
No, the reality is that we are a global power, and as we are committed to the global targets. Uzma ji, you are getting too upset. I request you. I'm just enjoying the fact that you people live in a delusional world. You live in a delusional world, Ma'am, whatever is happening in your country, I'm sorry for you, but we can't help you much.
Oh, what can you do? For God's sake, what can you do? Please tell me what you can do. You don't want anybody to come and inspect what you're doing. What you have played havoc with the Indus Water Treaty yourself. We haven't. You have. And you people, by building dams everywhere, 5,000 dams you have built up till now. And you have, gone against that.
Uzma ji, see, you will have to come on the negotiating table, and we'll explain to you why. You must understand.
If we come on the negotiating table,
and when you come on the negotiating table, you also bring POK. You also bring POK on the negotiating table. We'll discuss everything together now with you.
We will come on equal terms if and when we want to come.
Okay. May I get Professor Nalapad's first reaction? The Pakistanis are very upset, Professor Nalapad. How do we handle them?
Well, Arnab, how can you blame them? Look at the fact that we surrendered POK to them. Look at the Indus Water Treaty. The Indus Water Treaty is more generous to a lower riparian state than every other water treaty ever signed in the rest of the world. It is prima facie an absurd one-sided treaty. Look at what happened when Shastriji left the RGP pass. Infiltration increased. What happened when Indira Gandhi allowed 93,000 Pakistani military people to go back without any of them being held responsible for the atrocities they committed in Bangladesh? You know what happened in Kashmir and in Punjab. What happened in Vajpayeeji's bus ride and meeting Nawaz Sharif? I'll tell you what happened. Kargil happened. What happened after Musharraf was taken away from the cold and brought to Agra? The terror continued. So for God's sake, this history of one-sided concessions has meant no change in the behavior of Pakistan, number one. Number two, the Indus Water Treaty, frankly, is, in the past also you had some international body looking into the LOC. That was disbanded and sent packing. This can also be sent packing, quite frankly. Pakistan is a sovereign state.
But they say that
make a point.
But they say we are desperate. You see, their argument, General Bakshi, is we are desperate. Our economy will collapse. 90% of our agriculture is dependent on the water from the Indus. I'm just giving the argument out, General Bakshi. So they say that already we are in trouble. Now, 90% of our agriculture depends on one river, the Indus Basin, right? And 25% of our GDP is agriculture. And that's all they have. You see, they have no manufacturing, they have no industry, they don't have a running economy, General Bakshi. You see, these Pakistanis, the way their economy, it's a primeval economy. It's like a medieval economy. It's a medieval economy. So they say कि हमारा ऐसा economy है, हम तो खत्म हो जाएंगे. We don't have software, we don't have IT, we don't have unicorns, we don't have technology, we don't have manufacturing, we don't have industrialization, we don't have chemicals. We are just a medieval economy. Now you're turning the tap on us. We're going to collapse. That's what they are saying, General Bakshi.
And they are quite right, Arnab, because they are going to collapse.
They will collapse.
Our External Affairs Minister, Mr. Jaishankar, very rightly pointed out to them that there will be consequences.
Yes.
There have to be consequences for the kind of actions you do.
Yes.
You try and revive terrorism south of the Pir Panjals. You try and revive terrorism in Punjab. You try and interfere with the Indian elections due for the assembly in Jammu and Kashmir. The ISI wants to help the CIA stage a Maidan revolution, a colored revolution in Bangladesh. You want to do a war dance that you have changed the geopolitical scenario in Southeast Asia, the entire restructuring, the paradigm shift in security architecture that had been done post the 1971 Bangladesh war. You want to crow from the rooftops that you have undone it. Well, somewhere there will be consequences. This was, as Professor Nalapad very rightly said, one of the most over-generous, tilted treaties for any riparian state in the world. And Nehru had given it in the fond hope that this at least would buy peace with Pakistan, that they would give up their adventurism in Jammu and Kashmir. But nothing of that sort has happened, Arnab, and things.
But
have
now the lady says, Uzma Kardar says, we have nuclear weapons. We are a very dangerous country. We'll use our nuclear weapons. You know, that old immature thing. You know, they're saying that. I mean, how do you view that?
I'm sorry, do not
Arnab,
change my words. I said we are a nuclear country.
The Soviet, the Russians have 5,800 nuclear warheads. Madam, please listen, because you must be reasonable and rational. Pakistan,
yes, exactly.
Pakistan is
we are
threatening the use of
reasonable
nuclear
and we are rational.
We have Russia.
We have never,
no, please.
We have never been irresponsible as far as
Can I finish? I'd love to listen to what you have to say. I'm sorry, you are a erudite, scholarly person, but let me just put across one brief fact. Russia has 5,800 nuclear warheads. The war in Ukraine has been going on for 2.5 years, getting on to 3 years. Have you seen a single nuke being used? However many times President Putin may have threatened, Medvedev may have threatened the use of nuclear weapons. Have you heard of even one tactical nuke being used?
We are not the ones who are talking about
which world are you living in?
You're the ones
Which dream world are you inhabiting? You'll have to come out of that la-la land.
I understand that we are a nuclear country.
You have to come out of la-la land.
You cannot bully us.
Inhabit that la-la land forever.
The way you try to bully us.
And you must realize there will be consequences.
Threaten us. We will not stand for
No,
threats.
Uzma ji, nobody is threatening you. There is something called one minute. But okay, since you want to, see, I'll tell you one thing.
We will do this and we will do that.
No, we will not do anything. We are doing. You first, Uzma ji, you realize one thing. This is not a threat. We are doing. Don't you? Are you living in a parallel universe? General Dayal will tell Major Janjua. See, no. See, I'll tell you. We are a very no. See, I'll tell you one.
Rest assured. Let me
Ma'am,
say
I want to tell you, आपको तभी सिग्नल मिल जाना चाहिए था उज़मा जी, जब हमने शाहपुर कांडी डैम बनने के बाद हमने रावी का पानी पाकिस्तान भेजना बंद कर दिया था। क्या कर पाए थे आप? आप क्या कर पाए थे? आप रोते रहे तब भी आप कुछ नहीं कर पाए, और ये सच्चाई है। देखिए उज़मा जी,
और यहीं पे आपने ट्रीटी को वायलेट किया हुआ है।
कोई वायलेशन नहीं है। देखिए
ऐसा वायलेशन है।
आप
अपने मुंह से
चलिए, आप जाइए, एप्लीकेशन दीजिए, हम देखेंगे 10 साल बाद। आप बोलते रहिए वायलेशन है।
बिल्कुल है।
क्या बिगाड़ पाएंगे आप हमारा?
आपने खुद कह दिया ना।
क्या बिगाड़ेंगे आप? चलो आप बोलते रहिए, आपकी एग्रीकल्चर बंद हो जाएगी, आप पास सूखा पड़ जाएगा। आप 10 साल बोलते रहिए वायलेशन है, हम भी लड़ते रहेंगे। तारीख पे तारीख हो जाए तारीख पे तारीख। जनरल दयाल
हो जाए, फिर देख लेंगे हम आपको भी।
क्या देख लेंगे? व्हाट इज दिस देख लेंगे आपको भी? जनरल दयाल इज ऑन द डिबेट। जनरल दयाल, ये देख लेंगे आपको भी अप्रोच को भी हैंडल करना पड़ेगा। जनरल दयाल, दे आर नाउ गेटिंग इनटू देख लेंगे आपको भी।
If I can speak.
Yes.
Arnab, the thing is, Pakistanis feel that this is bashing Pakistan. I've been saying for a long time that it is time to destroy this myth of every Pakistani.
Well said,
that
sir.
they may be a sovereign country, but they are not a country which have any national power, even not equal, even 1/20th of India. India's national power today is much higher, so Pakistanis must realize. Secondly, why should we give them a notice? I'm one of those who believe do what is required to be done today. Let's not keep going back what our ancestors that they did it in good faith, and Pakistanis did not behave with that.
Usman Bishambardial, on the debate now.
Backing out of the treaty, they kept destroying India. It is time, and mind you, we never took in consideration that time the territories of Rajasthan, territories of up to run of Kashmir, no water. We never had water till up to run of Gujarat, Rajasthan and all. They were all dependent, should have been thought about this. But if we did not think, we don't have to go anywhere. No notice is required. Stop their water, manage your water, whatever you can spare, give them. When you can't spare, don't give them. construct and which international treaty, which economic order, which international order? There's nothing. Pakistan will not understand the language that we are still speaking. They understand only one language. They understand only. Listen to me, ma'am. I didn't speak to you.
Osma!
Listen, young lady.
You're part of an international community, and you have to respect the borders of other countries, of other sovereign
I'm a military man. I respect everyone. I respect a lady. Young lady, don't interfere. Don't talk. You can talk.
Your true face.
Talk
This is the true
facts.
face of India.
Talk facts. The fact is
don't
that we were
respect
large-hearted
international treaty.
and we were in a different environment. Since you did not, your country did not behave, it is time to not to even think that it's a treaty. With your water resources, India should do what it can do. Whatever it can spare, send it to Pakistan. If it can't spare, don't
have
give one drop. Not required. Not required.
Osma!
I'm saying not required.
Because you
Not
do
required.
not know
It is
how
our responsibility
to
to
keep
take
your
it.
international commitments.
Till your forces do not leave POK, until POK independently does not vote to join India, till you do not.
Well said, sir. Well said.
No water to you. Did you withdraw your troops? Did you withdraw your troops? That was the first issue.
Man.
Why haven't you withdrawn your troops from POK? Well, I'll come to that later, but presently, Arnab,
Too much
it's good
frustration in India.
that
Too
you-
much
The first
frustration
clause
in India.
in the agreement
You
that
please,
Pakistan
let's
withdraw
look
troops
at our
from all of Kashmir.
infrastructure. Let's build our infrastructure.
Jalda.
Let's manage our water resources. J&K itself need water. Nobody thought about J&K. You know, J&K also has got an agriculture plant today, which was not there in 60s. They don't get the water. J&K itself is not getting water. You must understand. Jan Bakshi will agree.
Well,
Madras
because
doesn't get the water.
you're
It all
mismanaging
falls
at your
through.
end.
We
You
need
should
to
manage-
take
you've
control
got
of the
more
water
than
as
5,000
per our
dams.
requirement.
So we are in a we
comes to
That's the way.
Pakistan.
General, I think we need to.
We should not give any notice.
Yeah.
We should not allow any interference.
No, but
There is
we-
no world
but-
trade.
but having
There is
said
no
that-
UN. Today there is anarchy in the world. We are the only country with semblance of peace, harmony, and stability.
So
there
we-
is anarchy in the world. Pakistan, I don't want to even discuss. There's anarchy in the world. There's no UN. Which bank are you talking? Which court are you
Yeah,
talking?
let's,
But why don't they
we've
why
got
don't
the
they
whole
stop the
And
war?
and who are they? And who are they?
Because you are a
General Dayal.
I don't want to call.
No, General Dayal, if I.
don't want to call that you are a
Osma ji, please, Osma ji.
You have destroyed Afghanistan. You have destroyed Afghanistan. You have destroyed Kashmirians.
20%.
You have destroyed
For a
yourself.
5 times bigger country.
That's my worry.
No,
That's the issue.
may I intervene for a minute? I say tonight, and this question is to Major Janjua, who the hell is Pakistan to talk about international agreements? We are, let me complete. आप अभी रोकिए मत. देखिए ये उस्मा जी, आप तब से बोल रही हैं, अब मैं वापस जवाब दे रहा हूं, तो आप उधर से बोल रही हैं. आप रुक जाइए 2 मिनट. आप रुक जाइए. मैं मेजर जंजुआ को पूछ रहा हूं. आप कवरिंग फायर मत दीजिए उनको. We are seeking a review in the International Waters Tribunal. Pakistan readily went against the provisions of the treaty when you moved the International Court of Arbitration over the construction of 2 dams by India. You brought in third-party intervention instead of resolving it bilaterally. Do you ever respect an international treaty?
Because you people were violating.
What you people? Let me ask you. Why are you answering for Janjua? Why are you answering for Janjua? Let Janjua answer for himself. Why is Janjua chickening out of my debate? Mr. Major Janjua, Major Janjua.
If you've invited...
I've invited you, but answer the question. Which international treaty have you ever stood by? You are a member state of the United Nations. You violated the resolutions of 1373, which calls for member states to act against terrorists and prevent their soil from being used for terrorism.
When you were building Kishan Ganga Dam, which treaty were you adhering to? Can you please tell me? But before I go there, I have to ask you. You're saying come to the table and discuss and negotiate. Is that what you said in the intro to the program?
No, I'm not saying.
But as far as
I'm not saying that, but you should read our notice. You have
No.
You should read our notice.
You said in the start of the program that you have no choice and come and rediscuss or we should renegotiate this treaty? Is that
No,
what
I
you are
didn't say
trying to
that. I didn't say that. Listen
Okay,
to
what-
me. Listen
what
to
did
me.
you say?
You
What did you
can't.
say?
Let me tell you what I said because you're hearing me wrong.
Yeah.
I have said.
Yeah.
I have said you don't deserve our generosity. Is that clear to you?
So how do you want to go about this?
How do I
you
want to go about it?
this?
Okay.
Do you want to fight a war?
Abhijit Chawda
You
can
want to
come
fight
in
a
on
war
that.
over this?
Abhijit Chawda,
No,
the question
you
is,
want
how
to
do you
fight a
want to
war
go
over this?
about it? How would an Indian
Listen,
panelist
listen.
respond to that? Abhijit Chawda
Yes,
versus
I-
Major Janjua.
How do we go about this? So
How
first
do you
of
want
all,
to go
we in
about it?
India are
Is the
pragmatic
question.
people. We recognize what Pakistan actually is.
Hold on.
Pakistan is
No,
a
what he's asking you to hold on.
territorial nation.
No, but you asked
Only
me.
utility
No,
is
you
a-
asked
is
me
a-
how do you
is a
want to go
nuisance
about
to
it.
us.
I passed the
Pakistan
baton to
oscillates
Abhijit on that.
between
Now you're
Chinese
saying, hold
versus-
on. What do you want?
Back to
You want
me.
Abhijit to reply or not to reply?
I am just asking you that you have in all your programs and your government says we don't want to talk to Pakistan. So why do you want to talk to Pakistan about the treaty that you
ये
don't like?
semantics मत कीजिए हमारे साथ.
We don't
play
need
with
to speak
words.
to Pakistan. Look, no treaty
Abhijit is
permanent.
responding.
Let me give you the example of the JCPOA. The US withdrew unilaterally. What about the Hong Kong Treaty that the Chinese had with the UK? The Chinese withdrew unilaterally. We are under no obligation to accept and abide by a lopsided, one-sided treaty, and we will
well
do
said,
what is
Abhijit.
in our national
Mr.
interest.
Chawla,
And we have the
Mr.
ability
Chawla,
to change facts on the
take a
ground as we see
screenshot
fit.
of this
And we're going to do
time.
what's best for our people
I
and
am
our nation.
challenging you.
So please understand
Listen,
that this treaty cannot
don't-
stand. It is not
don't
going to
make
stand any
empty
longer.
slogans.
You will exist. You will
Don't
continue
make
to exist
empty
as a
slogans.
nation, as a sovereign
Do not-
nation, as
do
a
not
nuclear
make
power
empty
state, as long
sloganeering
as you
like
have a
Mr.
utility
Dayal was
for
doing.
other nations, for powerful nations, as a nuisance for India. And that's
Right.
that's the
I've heard
only
you.
utility Pakistan
I've heard
has
you. You're
geopolitically
not
in the
saying
world.
anything
So
new.
it's a matter of time before these things change, before the facts on the ground change, and we are going to get our fair share of the water. And you can take the rest as long
What
as
you're
you
not
keep on
assessing.
I've heard
That's
this.
What you're not assessing,
this.
Major Janjua.
I've heard this.
What you're not
I've
assessing,
heard
Major
this all
Janjua, what you're not assessing is, please let me explain to you. Major Janjua, see, in geostrategy, you must understand the levers you are on. All this Chinese investment into your country, which is already into trouble. They promised to invest $50 billion for developing the North Indus River cascade to generate 40,000 megawatts of hydroelectricity. Do you think we are not tracking it? It will become useless. It will become useless. No, you are heading to a catastrophe that you don't understand.
If you have invited us to talk, then let me talk.
No,
Otherwise we
but
can go
you,
home.
yeah, I'm letting you talk.
Half
but
an hour is gone.
No, but
You've not even given me
But
30
Major
seconds.
Janjua, which investment of the Chinese will matter after this?
Arnab Goswami, there is an international treaty that India has signed. I am saying, instead of Mr. Dayal and Mr. Chawla doing the empty sloganeering, you try your luck. I am offering you, and I am offering you a channel and challenge. You try your luck. If you think you can violate international treaties and go away like that, be my guest, try it. Forget about the nukes, what the lady was saying. You just try your luck and see what happens to you. If you think we are 1/20th of your size, if Pakistan is 1/20th of your size, why does Pakistan give you sleepless nights all the time? Why
They don't
are
even
you
think
so
about
scared
you.
of Pakistan?
Okay, I'll tell you
Do
one
what
thing.
think you can do.
I'll tell you one thing.
Can't-
I'll tell you one thing.
can't
Major
do a damn about
Janjua,
it.
Major Janjua.
You're delusional. You are-
Watch.
you are delusional.
I think you have not read the treaty.
Like orangutans.
Thief is a thief. Arnab, a thief is a thief. He gives sleepless
Yeah.
nights to lot of
Well,
lot of
I can see the faces
गरीब
of thieves
मोहल्लों में
here. I
चोर
can see the
गरीब
faces of
मोहल्लों
thieves
में
here.
चोर भी तो लोगों की नींद हराम करता है
Louder,
ना
please.
तो पाकिस्तान ने इस इलाके की नींद इस तरह हराम कर रखी है और कोई बात नहीं
Irshad and
But Arnab, I
Bisham
want to
Badal.
give you one way
Irshad.
out. Listen,
Bisham Badal,
I will
louder.
give
This is
you a
your
way
words.
out.
This is
India
your
should
words,
work
Mr.
out-
Dayal.
Can I
India
increase
country the
Dayal's
size of
audio,
Pakistan.
please, and have?
बस मुझे बोलने दीजिए दयाल मैं ये कहूंगा
You made a statement.
देखिए
You
आप
made a statement.
एक
You are
चीज है
making a
जो आप
statement
लोगों को
tonight.
नहीं आती है वो है शर्म आप लोग कह रहे हैं कि पानी और खून इकट्ठा नहीं होता आप तो चाहें तो पूरे पाकिस्तान को खून में नहला दें आप पानी क्या बंद करेंगे देखें
अरे nonsense, you nonsense that you can give it to somebody, you can give it to some weak hearted theory. Nonsense, I'm telling you.
क्यों नॉनसेंस शर्म नहीं आती आप लोगों को बेशर्म
I'm telling you the truth.
दूसरे को सुनने की जुर्रत रखा करें जब आप बोलते हैं
जरूरत है भाई,
झूठ बोलते हैं तो फिर सुनने की जरूरत रखा है। आप बात कर रहे हैं कि खून जरूरत नहीं है आप लोगों में, सिर्फ तकरीबकारी करना जानते हैं आप, सिर्फ झूठ बोलना जानते हैं, तकरीबकारी करना जानते हैं। आपकी तकरीबकारियां पकड़ी जाने लगी है।
Good neighbors do not give sleepless
मिल रही है, आपकी तकरीबकारी बंद हो गई है, आपके तकरीबकारों को लगाम डाल दी गई, आपके गले में पटा डाल दिया गया, आप
किसी का पटा
हो रही है,
किसी का पटा
आपके
किसी का पटा डाल दिया गया,
काम हो रही है। इस
क्या आप उल्टी सीधी बातें कर रहे हो? अरे लेट्स कम डाउन टू द पॉइंट, लेट्स कम डाउन टू द पॉइंट, लेट्स कम डाउन टू द पॉइंट।
ताकि लोगों का ध्यान पानी और पाकिस्तान की तरफ, लेकिन लोग
इरशाद अहमद खान जी, आपकी बैंडविड्थ खराब है, आप मेरी बात सुनिए। इरशाद जी, इरशाद जी, इरशाद जी, इरशाद जी, इरशाद जी, एक मिनट, आई वांट टू एक्सप्लेन दिस। You see, every treaty has a basis, and on this I want to bring in Arif Azakia, who's a senior journalist from Pakistan. He's joining us tonight. Arif ji, this preamble of this treaty was that there will be a spirit of goodwill and friendship between India and Pakistan, which means as long as there is goodwill and friendship, right, General Dayal? If there is goodwill, General Bakshi, if there's goodwill and friendship, I want to read out.
Yeah.
It said this treaty is based fundamentally on a spirit of goodwill and friendship. General Bakshi, दोस्ती और भाईचारा कुछ नहीं है। 1960 में maybe Nehru hoped for it, right, General Dayal? General Bakshi. General Bakshi, where is that goodwill and friendship now?
Of concession.
Yeah.
This treaty,
yes, so
it's gone up in smoke, Arnab. It's gone up in smoke. With that bus in Riyasi, it went up in smoke. With those ambushes, it's gone up in smoke. And you know, Arnab, this is a nation which has been trying to destabilize its neighborhood. In 2016, Bangladesh under Hasina Wajid had crossed Pakistan in per capita GDP. You know, Pakistan could not tolerate that. They wanted to reduce Bangladesh to a similar Jihadistan, a kind of a Darul Harb, you know, where there would be chaos, there would be anarchy on the streets. And they have just managed to do that with the help of the CIA.
So the point is, there has to be two-way.
There will be no consequences. You know,
Arif ji, the point that General Bakshi makes here.
Yes.
Well, General
yes.
Bakshi has been very clear in his point. Arnab ji, just now you asked one of the panelists from Pakistan about the covenants and treaties that Pakistan does not oblige or does not respect, which it has signed. I've been working in United Nations since 31 years, going next week again to attend the Human Rights Council session. I agree with you. Pakistan is signatory to many covenants and treaties of United Nations, but respects none. Treaty on extrajudicial killing, treaty on torture, treaty on freedom of speech, treaty on right to food, right to life. You see Pakistan from Balochistan, KPK, Sindh, POK, everywhere it is chaos. There is no fundamental human rights in Pakistan.
Yes.
Talking about this treaty of water, it is an old treaty. The world was different in 1960. The need today is to sign a new treaty and oblige Pakistan to respect human rights of Pakistanis. We Pakistanis have no human rights. And these gentlemen sitting from Pakistan here, I question them. What is the situation in Delhi? What is the situation in Balochistan? Why your government of Pakistan army is not respecting any human rights?
Well said, well said. Well said, sir. Arif ji, I commend you for speaking up. Well said, sir. Well said.
I'm telling the truth. I'm just telling the truth. I'm not exaggerating matters. I know the issues. 31 years of my life I have spent in United Nations fighting for the human rights of Pakistanis. I don't mind what Pakistan is doing outside. That is another story. Terrorism in Afghanistan, terrorism in India. That is another
Osma ji, why are you blocking him?
I'm talking about the treaties and covenants that Pakistan has signed. And Pakistan is not respecting any of them.
the nonsense that you want him to talk.
People are missing in Pakistan.
Do not say that he is representing
and
Pakistan.
Army of Pakistan,
Now
the
I did
biggest
not
terrorist
expect this from
organization
your show.
of the world. Pakistan Army
Why are you
is
writing
missing.
Pakistan?
Because he's also a Pakistani.
Women and children are sitting in Islamabad.
Osma ji, he's also a Pakistani. Arif ji, can you tell us your background, where in Pakistan you're from, your association with Pakistan, and because they are now accusing you of speaking against their national interest.
Well, I'm not speaking against any national interest. I am speaking about fundamental human rights, which is guaranteed in Constitution of Pakistan, which is guaranteed in Universal Charter of Human Rights. Pakistan is a signatory to that.
Osma,
I asked this lady, one question, that there is a small girl sitting...
Both, audio, both equal.
Tell me, I am orphan...
Arif, louder.
He raped an officer. That is what is happening in India. And you people are killing Sikhs all over the world. The Sikhs have taken
Osma ji, I'm very happy that a Pakistani has exposed you tonight. Arif ji, louder.
40 crore people in India are lucky to be in India. Every Pakistani is dying to move to India. If you give an opportunity to Pakistanis, entire Pakistan will be empty and everyone will move to India. This is India. Don't talk about India.
Of the world. What human rights are you talking about? And do not,
on the name of blasphemy, on the name of religion, on the name of ethnicity.
This man knows nothing about Pakistan, for God's sake.
Osma ji, don't lose. Please don't use this language against our distinguished panelists. The fact of the matter is, while he has taken the debate in a different direction, he has also exposed the contradictions within Pakistan. I want to go back to the issue. Aisha ji, apne aap ko control kijiye.
I was a town mayor in Karachi also. I know the situation. I have been living my Pakistani life in London here.
You have no love for Pakistan. You can only give negative picture about Pakistan.
You are advocate of devil, man.
You are not here representing Pakistan at all.
Okay, now thank you very much. We'll pull back at that point. I want to go back to the issue at hand. I know the contradictions within Pakistan. We feel bad for the people in Balochistan. All of us do. Osma ji, to bring you back to the issue at hand, I want to go back to Madhav Nalapat and you. Please understand, you have weaponized this treaty against India. I want to bring this issue, Major Janjua and you on one side, and I want to bring in Madhav Nalapat and Bishamba Dayal as well. Starting from the Salal hydropower project in the 1970s to the latest projects being constructed on the western rivers, Indus, Chenab, Jhelum and their tributaries, you have objected to every single hydroelectric project. We are totally within our rights to build those hydroelectric projects. In a spirit, because we are good, generous people. You keep telling us, aap bade bhai ho, you are the bigger country, you are the richer country, aap thoda sa humko de do. We gave you. We agreed to design changes in the Salal project. After Salal, Professor Nalapat, the Pakistanis objected to the Tulbul navigation project. They objected to the Baglihar Dam. They objected to Kishan Ganga. They objected to Nimobagsko. They objected to all the projects. So they're taking advantage. Professor Nalapat.
Of course.
Professor Nalapat, please.
Please, Ms. Usma. Please,
Ms. Usma, please understand the seriousness of the issue.
For 30 seconds, please stop listening to sound of your own voice. Please, Ms. Usma, I request you. Look, Arnab, I simply want to say one fact. This is a completely unequal treaty. I am very glad the government in India, led by Prime Minister Modi, is basically looking at a difference in treaty, because so far, all the concessions we have given to Pakistan have been completely wasted. It's like throwing good money after bad. You're like Ms. Usma believes we are like a gambler. You lose money,
Usma.
then you spend more money.
Usma louder.
More money.
Usma louder.
Gamble on Pakistan.
Usma ji louder.
And people know what you're doing here. You're building all these dams. illegal dams, dams in which you are depriving Pakistan of the water.
Please,
Professor Arnab.
Lady, to stop. Ms. Usma, 20 seconds. If you can bear not to hear your voice,
Yes.
request you to do so. Arnab, where this country as a serial offender, they were used by America against India. Now they're used by China against India. The military is a
Thank you
military
very much.
for hire.
Now you
Tomorrow
hit the
they'll be
nail
using
on the
somebody
head.
else.
It is
This is
China
their
which is
military-
bothering
it's a
you
military
because
controlled
China
state.
is helping
Ms. Usma has
us
no
with the
power
hydel
at all.
power.
She
And
is a
that
civilian.
is giving
She
you
has no
sleepless
power.
night. So that
She has
is the
no
key.
rights.
That is the
Professor
problem.
Nalapal.
That is the
Shehbaz
main
Sharif
issue.
is a prisoner of the military, and she can't dare to say it. The military in Pakistan has been
building
running
dams
Pakistan
left, right,
right from the
and center.
1950s.
Don't bother about
And you
that.
call this a
1 minute.
democracy?
General Dayal, how...
Not agree to inspect.
General, one thing is clear to me, and it's clear to me it's a life and death issue for Pakistan here. Not for us, but for them it is.
Speak on behalf of the military, but look at terror
for them,
in the face.
but we must
We are
remember
looking at it.
that
And this
look,
nonsense you're
what
saying.
Pakistan
Sikhs
is three
being
western
killed.
rivers. Let's have it.
What are you
let's
talking
be
about?
factually correct.
You're talking
The
nonsense.
three western rivers.
You're talking
And the overflow from the three
General Dayal,
western rivers,
louder.
This is a problem.
They provide water to Pakistan right up to Karachi.
Military is
But when it comes to India, the three
General Dayal and
eastern
Colonel
rivers do
Kanjwa.
not provide water up to even Rajasthan. So we need to take a complete stock of the situation and control the entire water, have our needs first, our complete needs, and then whatever is spare there, we should give it to them. And we should not have any treaty or anything. We should give them this the water for you, we will give you. And we are free to do what we want to do on the
Not all
three
that
rivers.
easy. Don't you
The
think that?
treaty does not stop us from making dams,
Hold the
producing
rivers.
electricity, using for irrigation, using for our
These
people,
rivers,
for their
the
consumption.
water of these
It does
rivers
not stop.
will be
It does not stop.
divided equitably
should
between both the countries. And that is the problem. You have been building dams
actually
all
now
over the
thrown
place
into Indus River so that it can flow down to
without
flow
proper
down. It's not required
justification,
anymore.
without proper legal rights
There
to
is
do
no
it.
legality. Water is ours. There is no legality. What legality? You destroy. You allow us to go and see every. You gave all the terrorists to us. You remove your forces from POK. We'll talk to you. You remove all your forces from POK. You hand over all the terrorists that we need that who have committed crime in India. Listen, ma'am, if you don't do that, India should stay away and not bother what you need.
Standing there. What is it
It is
doing?
time to stop bothering about
Raping
Pakistan.
women.
It is time to take stock and say
killing
we
young
need
people.
water for
One
ourselves.
minute. Uzma ji, I think you must control yourself now. General Bakshi and Abhijit. General Bakshi, they refuse to...
Lost the plot.
Yeah. General Bakshi, over to you.
Yes.
You and Major Janjua. Yeah. Go on, please.
Arnab, what I would like to point out is this treaty was given to Pakistan in a spirit of generosity, in a hope, with the fond hope that this would, prod Pakistan to behave, to sort of not act like an errant schoolboy in the neighborhood, to not interfere with the issue of Kashmir. In the fond hope, we gave these concessions, unwarranted concessions at the cost of our own farmers, at the cost of agricultural development in Jammu and Kashmir. We let that water to these people, and look at what they have done in return. They have waged for the last 30 years unrelenting asymmetric warfare against India. Whether in J&K, whether in Punjab, and now they are out to destabilizing our neighborhood, and they expect us to take it lying down. I don't think so. I think it's about time that you will be called to account. I think it's about time that Pakistan should be called to account. Here is a country that can't give 2 square meals to its people. All the money is purloined by the Pakistan army and the politicians and sequestered overboard.
मीडिया के थ्रू दहशतगर्दी जनरल साहब अपनी उम्र का तकाजा अपनी उम्र का ख्याल किया करें आप झूठ ना बोला करें खुदारा हम आपकी इज्जत करते हैं रिस्पेक्ट करते हैं लेकिन आप कुछ ऐसा बोला करें
आप जो है
पानी की दहशतगर्दी करने की ये
आप
पानी की
स्टिक टू द
दहशतगर्दी
फैक्ट्स
आप लोग कर रहे
करिए
हैं।
और आप
क्या ये
जानते
दहशतगर्दी नहीं
हैं
है?
कि आपकी क्या कारस्तानियां आपको किस अंजाम पे ले जा रही है,
आपको हर जगह
आपको किस अंजाम पे आपकी ये बेहुदा कारस्तानियां पाकिस्तान को ले जा रही हैं आज के दिन।
हटाने के लिए तो बात यह है कि अभी ये देख लीजिए, आपकी नानी अम्मा जो भागी है बांग्लादेश से, वहां क्या हो रहा है, जहां दहशतगर्दी फैला रहे थे वहां आपको हर जगह मायूसी है। उस मायूसी का रिजल्ट ये है।
और जो पैराशूट होके आए हैं वॉशिंगटन से, वो आपके चाचे लगते हैं।
आपकी दहशतगर्दी शुरू कर दी।
जो वॉशिंगटन से पैराशूट होके मोहम्मद यूनुस साहब, वो ग्रामीण बैंक के बैंकर जो लूट रहे थे बांग्लादेश के लोगों को, वो आपके चाचे लगते हैं
कि पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ आम मामूल।
आपको साहब उसका अभी खमियाजा भुगतना पड़ेगा। अगर आप समझते हैं कि आप पूरे रीजन को डिस्टेबलाइज करेंगे और फिर भी आपको अनवांटेड शेयर ऑफ वाटर मिलता जाएगा, औरों का हिस्सा आपको थमा दिया जाएगा, हिंदुस्तान के लोगों का
I want to Uzma ji and Abhijit Chawda.
आपको थमा दिया जाएगा।
आप तो अपने मुंह से आपने मान लिया है कि हमने रावी जो
Uzma ji,
थी,
I'll
रावी
get you
को
in with
खुश कर
Abhijit
दिया
for the
आप
last
लोगों
word.
से। अर्नाब
You
को
see,
अपने मुंह से मान गए हैं।
Uzma ji.
सारी ये दादागिरी और बदमाशी तो आप लोग कर रहे हैं वहाँ बैठ के हर जगह।
There is no dadagiri or badmashi. Uzma ji, we are following. Please don't use these words. That may be your approach in Pakistan. In India, we follow the due process of law. Uzma ji, I'll tell you one thing. You need to reconsider your behavior. One minute. Uzma ji, listen to me. Listen to me.
थर्ड पार्टी आर्बिट्रेशन जो है वो उसको एक्सेप्ट करना पड़ेगा।
Yeah.
आप लोग
Uzma and Abhijit Abhijit,
Look, here's the bottom line, Uzma ji.
others down, only Uzma and Abhijit.
India is under no obligation to continue with this one-sided, lopsided treaty. India will back out from this treaty. No treaty is permanent. We're going to revise the treaty. We're going to create new facts on the ground. We're going to put dams on every single river and tributary that flows into Pakistan. If you have a problem, if you have a shortage of water, please go and beg your iron brother China to send some water through Chinese-occupied Tibet. That's the only option you have. You are under no capability of making us do what you want. You cannot coerce us. You may be an independent nation, sovereign nation, temporarily, artificially. And we will change the facts on the ground. That's the bottom line. You can say whatever you like, ma'am. That's it.
Uzma ji, I'll one point. If you can stop your non-stop diatribe and listen to me for a while.
भूखे मर रहे हैं तो आपका अवाब।
कुछ नहीं बनना आप लोगों का।
चल बख्शी and Uzma.
देना पड़ेगा कि आप किस तरह से आप इंडस वाटर ट्रीटी के खिलाफ जा रहे हैं।
मैडम देखिए, आपके चिल्लाने से कुछ नहीं होगा। There will be consequences. हमारे एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर ने आपको बड़ा साफ कह दिया था। अगर आप तख्ते पलट कर सकती हैं ड्यूली इलेक्टेड रिजीम्स के, क्या आपका मोहम्मद यूनुस इलेक्टेड है? कौन सी इलेक्शन उसने करी है वहां पे? कौन सी इलेक्शन के जरिए वो आया है? वो पैराशूटेड पैराट्रूपर है।
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to say one thing to Uzma at the end, if she listens to me. Uzma ji, go back and reconsider, and I want to say this specifically to you tonight. Think about 26/11, how you attacked Mumbai. Think about how you hijacked our planes. Think about how you are keeping Dawood there. Think about your behavior and then ask yourself, do you have any right to ask even for a drop of water from us?
All these are fabricated stories. Think about them.
Well, whatever. Then you discuss it on a parched land. Discuss it with a parched land with your agriculture having collapsed. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time I have. On the other side, the big debate of the day, one nation, one poll. Many people felt the Prime Minister would not push through with it, but he has. Does he have a game plan to implement it in mind? One nation, one poll for the entire country. When I'm back.